and my cousin and I having this discussion about the Indian Kenyan community in Kenya. The Indians have been here for over 100 years. They came here to build the railroads in the 1850s, and they've stayed. They consider themselves Kenyan. However, they live very secluded lives.
So today there's this video I want to share with you guys of a lady from America. She came to visit her cousin back here in Africa, back here in Kenya, and she was talking about how Indians who live in Kenya, how they treat Kenyans. Yeah, so I want you first to watch the video, then we continue. Yeah, let me know what you feel about this particular topic on the comment section. Yeah.
I need you guys to help me settle a debate that I'm having with my cousin here in Kenya. I'm visiting here, but I grew up mostly in the United States, and my cousin and I having this discussion about the Indian Kenyan community in Kenya. The Indians have been here for over 100 years. They came here to build the railroads in the 1850s, and they've stayed. They consider themselves Kenyan. However, they live very secluded lives compared to Black Kenyans. They build apartment complex and housing units and rent only to other Indians and do not rent to the Black population. And my cousin does not think that is racism. Of course, I think that is just straight 100% racism. She thinks that because they buy the land for their community with their own Indian money and they build for their community, rent only to their community, they're just taking advantage of what the Kenyan government allows them, which of course is a problem because the Kenyan government does allow this. However, whichever way you spin it, it's racism, even if the Black Kenyans choose to do the same thing to the Indian Kenyans, as she says. I think it's racism whichever way you look at it. She thinks racism really only applies when an Indian is hiring a Black Kenyan for a job, and for the same qualifications, they are paying them a lesser salary than the Indians. So that's racism to her. But the other way is just taking advantage of, I guess, essentially a loophole. Tell me what you guys think, because I think it's all wrong.
Indians in Africa, and especially in Kenya, we all know your ancestors were brought into these lands to come and build the railway line by the British. After the British left, you guys stayed to be part of us, which was only fair because you guys deserve to be here. But please, help me beg the older generation of Indians in Kenya to stop being racist towards the Kenyan people, towards the Black. Pay Black people the same wages you pay your own kind for the same services offered. A lot of Kenyans are suffering in EPZ, industrial area, and all the industries that are Indian owned because they're being treated very brutally. There's a lot of racism. Please
sit down and talk about the amount of racism that most Indian people have towards Black people.
I wasn't going to stitch this video because I've made many videos talking about racism in our community, but I've seen a lot of stitches on this video and Indian people saying, well, it's not all Indian people. Yeah, we know that, Black people know that, but it's a lot of us. So they are valid to say Indian people are racist. And can you honestly tell me, how would your family react if they know you're dating a Black person? I also saw someone say, well, Black people are racist to us too. Two wrongs don't make a right, but I'm also having a hard time believing that you know that many Black people. And you're probably just making this assumption from like two Black people that were nice to you. So like, well, they're racist to us too. We as Indian people need to acknowledge how we are wrong and apologize and change. We literally have come through apartheid together and somehow we're still divided. It doesn't make sense.
We're Kenyan Indian. Of course, we live in either South Sea, Parklands, or Ngara. We're Kenyan Indian. Of course, daddy's money reigns supreme, always. We're Kenyan Indian. Of course, we're going to explain what makes us Kenyan, even though we are literally the 43rd tribe of the country. We're Kenyan Indian. Of course, we're going to have a problem with someone of our ethnicity marrying outside the culture. We're Kenyan Indian. We hate being called Muhindi, but love being called Asian. We're Kenyan Indian. Of course, we own supermarkets or hardwares. We're Kenyan Indian. Of course, we're going to mix up all the three languages and pretend we made a sentence that made sense. We're Kenyan Indian. Of course, we live with our parents.
I am a Kenyan, so I understand exactly what this lady is talking about. Yeah, we have a lot of Indians back here who own businesses. And let me tell you, these people are never friendly to Kenyans. It's not like they are violent to us. No, they are not violent, but they are never friendly. You might try to make jokes with them, try to just to get to have an interaction with them, but they never open up to Kenyans. They never return the gesture. They are rigid when it comes to interacting with Kenyans. So I understand exactly what this lady is talking about. I know some of you might think that this is not racism, but let me just ask, why go to someone else's country, start a business there? Yeah, you invest, you pay taxes, you build even apartments in that country, but never want to interact with people from that particular country. Why? If that's not racism, you only accommodate your fellow people. You accommodate you accommodate only Indians. This is discrimination. No matter how we might want to sugarcoat this, it's still discrimination. And I do believe it's unconstitutional, because I don't think there's a country that can allow foreigners to come to their country and start treating the locals like the way these Indians treat Kenyans. Yeah? These Indians do employ Kenyans. I can't deny that. But do you know the kind of jobs that these Indians give to Kenyans? They give Kenyans very odd jobs with lower wages and end up employing their own people, end up giving their people high-end level jobs in our own country. No matter how you might be qualified as a Kenyan, these people cannot give you a high-level jobs. They cannot. It's either they give you the odd jobs or they don't employ you. If you're a Kenyan watching this and you're in Kenya, I want you to go and do your own survey, and you're going to understand what I'm trying to talk about. Kenyans do odd jobs. They are the handymen in these people's business. They are the ones carrying things around, yeah? And we let foreigners come in and we let them still control us. I saw some people on the comment section say that it's the Kenyan government responsibility to stop this. As a Kenyan, let me just say this. It will not stop. Why? Because these people do the very opposite. What they do is take bribe and encourage these people to keep doing whatever that they're doing to Kenyans. And it's a shame, because we allow people to just come to our country and do anything they want to do to us. Now imagine if a Kenyan went to India and did the same. Do you think Indians would accept that? And I was even surprised to see some people defend these people on that post, on the comment section. I saw some people defending these people. You think you can go to India as a Kenyan, go and do as you please there? You cannot. But Africans, we are so accommodating. We are friendly to anyone. We accept anything that is done to us, and we never talk. We never speak up. And you think this is not discrimination? I know these people come to our country, they invest, which is okay. It's okay to invest in other people's country, because at least they boost our economy. But when it comes to dividing people, you want to segregate yourself from Kenyans. You don't want to live with them. We don't want them to live around the area that you people live, and you think it's okay. Some people say that it's their culture. But hey, let me just say this. It's a foreign country. You came from your country to Kenya. You started businesses here. You built apartments here. Yeah, it's a foreign country. You need to learn on how to accommodate these people. Yeah, you need to accommodate citizens of that particular country that you're in. You cannot start saying that it's a culture. Let me just ask, by renting to these people, how is it interfering with your culture? I don't see how it would interfere with that. Imagine if you refuse to rent with them. Now imagine if we refuse to sell land properties to you. Where would you put your apartments? And we refuse to sell land to you, then we start saying it's our culture. How would you feel? People need to understand that before doing something to another person, try and reflect. If it was you, how would you feel? Because I don't think Indians can accept this kind of attitude and character in their own country and behavior. I don't think they can accept it in their country. They wouldn't, especially from Black people. Africans, I think it's high time we stopped being so good to people, because the more we are good to people, the more they take advantage of us.